Welcome back, watch fans. We got an amazing update in the watch market for you. I'm going to tell you in just a second where prices are heading for Rolex and Patek Philippe in the next couple of months. But first, you need to know that there's a lot of lowlives and degenerates out there trying to steal your children's tuition money. That's right. I'm talking about the fat walrus. I'm talking about the hungry hippo. I'm talking about Juan and Kino, the cockroach breeding hubcap thieves. And guess what? What do they all have in common? They're all in Miami. Miami is the scam capital of the world. It's the scam capital of the world. Now, I'm going to tell you about a new scam that these lowlives and degenerates have been cooking up. And that is, well, it's not a new scam. It's as old as time. It is called the pump and dump. The pump and dump. I did a video a while back explaining to you how it works in the watch market, and it works like this. So, what these grifters do is they start buying up. They start buying up some shitter brand that you never heard of, something like Ebel. By the way, you see how this trolley car is going downhill? That's the way the watch prices are heading. That's right, the watch prices are dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants and Juan and Kino's pants in a Arkansas farmhouse. That's right, it's unbelievable but true. Unbelievable but true. It's all going downhill slowly, and then all of a sudden it happens. Now, don't be victimized. I don't want you to be victimized by these shenanigans, by these no good hubcap thieving, low-life degenerate, Rolex peddling lowlives who are out to fleece the lollipop suckers and the window lickers like you. You know what a window licker is? Google it. You know what a chomo is? That's Uncle Curly and the original OC, aka O'Cuck. But anyway, let's talk about the watch market. So the way this grift works, the pump and dump in the watch game, and I did a video about this almost a year ago. Unbelievable but true. A year ago, we gave you this deep insight, and now. The fat walrus and the hungry hippo are using our content. They're repurposing our content. They're stealing our content just the way they steal your children's tuition money. Unbelievable but true. By the way, I just want to show you this. You see the Chinese flags over there? The Chinese flags? Yeah, not the Taiwan, the Chinese flags. That's right. That's where the Rolex factory is. That's where they have these little kids making watches like this. They're churning them out. By the way, you notice I get a blue stripe. You see how advanced? This is advanced. This is very advanced. You get a blue stripe, and you got the blue. So, don't try this at home, guys. Do not try this at home. So we got a lot of garbage here. That's all going back with Juan and Kino to Isla del Basura, Isla del Cucarachas. January 21st, all being deported by Emperor Trump back to Isla del Cucarachas. You know where that is? Google it. All right. So here's the way the pump and dump scam works. Now that we did a build up, the way it works is like this. So these mooch bums, what they do is they pick up a brand like I'm using Ebel as an example. Now, Ebel actually was it's an interesting watch. We talked about it before. It had its heyday in the 80s. It was kind of, it's kind of interesting because it's not really, high horology, but they do have, they have some serious movements. They use the Zenith movement. Don Johnson. You ever see Miami Vice? Miami Vice. You don't know what that is? Google it. That, by the way, that took place in Miami also, which is very apropos, as the kids say. Apropos. You know what apropos means? Google it. Anywho, this is where your cars get broken into, by the way. They steal all your whatever you got left in the car. Don't try this at home. Anyway, gentlemen, so the way it works is these low lives, they find a watch which is kind of interesting. Maybe I don't know, 20, 30 years. It's been out of production and people forgot about it. And what they do is they start accumulating. They start accumulating inventory, okay, cheaply, slowly, quietly. And they start all of a sudden talking about the brand. It's like they discovered it. Oh my God, it's a discovery. It's a find. You ever see these morons on Instagram? They all talk the same. Everything is a find, discovery. You know, find me another one. They all have the same. They use the same language. I think these guys are all using one guy to write all their posts. I think it's all pay-for-play social media posting. And what these bums are doing is they accumulate all the inventory. For example, Ebel. And then they start pumping it up on social media, right? You know, they got the Don Johnson chronograph, you know, with those beautiful waves, the two-tone. By the way, it's not a bad watch, that two-tone chronograph. You know, Max Busey from MBNF, the story goes, in 1990, after he graduated horological school, where he learned about horology, you know, he had a choice. He could either buy a Rolex Daytona, or there's one of the Rolex workers right there. They start him out young, and or he could have gotten an Ebel chronograph. And what did he do? By the way, he was living in Geneva, right? So he grew up around this stuff his whole life, right? So he bought the Ebel. Why? Because, you know, by the way, he knows his stuff, right? I mean, this guy is the guy from MBNF. It's Mr. You know, Innovation. So why did he choose the Ebel? It was the cooler watch or whatever. But then they went out of fashion. You know, I don't even know if the brand is still around. We don't even know. It's unbelievable but true. We don't know if the brand is still around. But anyhow, so these mooch bums have been pumping up in the last year or so. They accumulated thousands of Ebels that are sitting in vaults. They're sitting in vaults all over the place. A lot of the Italians were the first ones to move in on this, and they cornered the market. Now, if you want to know where watch prices are heading, you got to watch what the Italians are doing. That's right, unbelievable but true. The Italians are the original watch collectors in reality. I mean, they're kind of the ones who got the thing started, and so that's what you got to watch. And anyway, they cornered the market in the Ebels, and they've been unloading them ever since. And they've been pumping them up at auctions. They've been pumping them up at like places like Monaco Legends, which is kind of the it's kind of the how should we say? I'm not sure how we should describe it, because I kind of like what they do. They're hustlers. They're good hustlers. I like them. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the Italian connection. Monaco Legends. That's where all the Italian dealers and collectors go twice a year. That's where the action happens, and that sets the trends for the market. So these guys, put up a couple of Ebel watches at Monaco Legends. They get a high price. All of a sudden, that sets the tone for the market. That's the new benchmark. That's the new benchmark price. You see what's happening all of a sudden. So imagine you bought up 500 of these shitter watches. You bought 500 of them for $2,000. All of a sudden, you put up 2 or 3 at auction. 2 different auctions. You want to do it. You want to spread it out, 2 or 3, so you create a trend. You want to create a trend, right? You do one at Monaco Legends, then you do one at Phillips, and then you do one at Sotheby's or Christie's, right? You got 3 watches, 3 different auctions, and you get your friends Paolo and Gianni, Paolo, ragazzi, to comprarlo orologio, and you know, they pump up the price. Il prezzo molto alto. How do you say? Prezzo fatto prezzo alto, right? They make a price go high. Okay, so that's what happens. Fatto prezzo molto alto. You know, because bisogno soldi. They need the money, right? That's what happens. So don't be a cafone. Don't be a bukiak. You know what a bukiak is? That's the JJ Watch channel. You know what a bukiak is? Google it. That's JJ, the Watch Hangout. A bunch of old busted down valises, jerking each other off, farting it in the room. A bunch of guys in a room getting high on their own farts and jerking each other off. That's the JJ Watch Hangout. And then there's a rigged horse race at the end. It's run by the carney himself. Anyway, speaking of, hey, listen, because why am I bringing these degenerates up? Because they're all scammers. The topic of today's show is grifters, Miami grifters and scammers. Now, JJ is not in Miami yet, but he's on his way. We know he's going to be there soon. So, back to the story. So, I explained to the pump and dump. Now, all of a sudden, they set the tone at these auctions, and then, now all of a sudden, they put out all their buddies on social media. You know, you get that guy, Watch Bros London. You got the guy with the dirty Sanchez mustache. You know the dirty Sanchez mustache guy? There's a bunch of these kids with a dirty Sanchez mustache. You know what a dirty Sanchez mustache is? Google it. Unbelievable but true. They're all moving out of California. That's right. They're all moving out. This place is going to the dogs. Unbelievable but true. You know why? Because of Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom. Unbelievable true. By the way, you know this building here, 101 Cal, this is a site of a mass shooting. A guy shot up a law firm with a Mac 10. You know what a Mac 10 is? Google it. No kidding. Guy walked in with two Mac 10s, and he shot up the whole floor. I mean, it's actually kind of tragic, but that's what happened here. So beneath this facade of glamour and, you know, genteel California, and there's a dark side. Unbelievable but true. That's what we're here to expose. We're here to expose all the grifters, the dark side of the horological community. Unbelievable but true. Now, that's right, 101 Cal. And after that, they outlawed the Mac 10. I think that was the big impetus. You know what the impetus is? Google it. But that was the impetus for gun control in America. So that's why you can't get a Mac 10. Now, where were we? Yeah, sorry, got distracted here. Now, okay, so basically what's been happening is these dirty Sanchez bros, I call them the dirty Sanchez Mafia. The dirty Sanchez Mafia. You know, they got the dirty Sanchez mustache. That's the Watcher Bros guy. You got that Peter Piccolino. You got some other guys. You got the guy at Phillips. They're all these hipster type of guys. Some guy just took a dump. Oh, you see this guy pulling up his pants? I don't know if you can see. I think this guy just took a dump. Look at this. I'm giving you guys an incredible tour of the beauty of San Francisco. I think this guy was just pulling up his pants. Must have taken a dump. He's probably working at Patek. He's probably AP. That's probably one of the new AP sales reps for the boutique that they're opening. You know the AP house? That guy is the manager of the AP house. That's the guy you got to grease his palm. You got to grease his back door so that he, gives you some of those shitter watches, those overhyped shitter watches. But do yourself a favor. Don't even think about buying that Coda 1159. Don't even think about it. You're going to get, speaking of greasing back doors, your back door is going to get get banged wide open if you buy a code 1159. Unbelievable but true. So back to the pump and dump, back to the dirty Sanchez mustaches. Speaking of dirty Sanchez. Anyway, so what these guys are doing, the bros with the dirty Sanchez mustaches, they're talking about these Ebels all over Instagram, and they're hyping it up, and they take these nice wrist photos. They take a nice photo like this with like a nice outfit, all coordinated, like it's all like hip and cool, like this is how you wear it, and if you buy this watch and you wear it, you're gonna be cool, and you're gonna get laid, and whatever, and whatever it is, that's kind of that's the underlying, that's the premise. That is always the premise in the watch game. If you buy the watch, you're gonna get laid, or you're gonna be cool. You'll have status amongst your loser friends. You'll make money. I don't know, whatever. Why else would somebody buy something? I mean, yeah, sure. There's the intrinsic value. There's the intrinsic value, and there is the underlying beauty, craftsmanship. Yada, 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 yada. But at the end of the day, human beings were motivated by a couple of simple things, which are sex, money, and power. Those are the main drivers that a savvy marketer will push those buttons to get you to take action now. Like, for example, if you wanna have sex, money, and power in your life, status, you gotta subscribe to the channel. You gotta click the like, subscribe button. Can't be a tomato can. Don't be like those losers who are not subscribers. Those guys who watch this channel and they never subscribe, or they don't send any money. Those mooch bums that never send any cash to the channel. Don't be like them. Get those wires going. Contact me for the wire instructions, because I get it. You don't want to send to the wrong account. You want to go directly to Unbelievable but true. Unbelievable but true. There's also crazy shit going on. You just saw it live. Unbelievable. You got also craziness. You gotta be watching where you're going all the time here. You got these bums riding these skateboards. You got homeless guys. You got all sorts of degenerates. You got Rolex Submariner wearers. And the worst ones you gotta watch out for, you got these Rolex Submariner bros. That's the bottom of the barrel. Anybody wearing a black Rolex Submariner or a Omega Speedman, any type of Omega, unless it's like a, cool vintage Omega, like a, which one am I thinking of? A moon phase. The only way you can wear an Omega is with a moon phase. Without a moon phase, it's à la poubelle. So anyway, the low lives, degenerates, Rolex Submariner, wearing bums, mooch bums, low lives, they're all here. Anywho, so these bums, they're running these pump and dumps. So the dirty Sanchez bros are pumping these watches on social media, and they're telling you how great they are, and they're stealing your children's tuition money. You know what else they're doing it with? Guess what? I'm giving you the update right here. See, here's the three brands right now that are being pumped and dumped. You got Ebel, and then you got Universal Geneve. That's right. Universal Geneve is actually very interesting, because Universal Geneve is really it's a very clever pump and dump. It's organized. It's an institutional pump and dump. So not only do they have the grifters, but they also have the company itself. So UG, Universal Geneve, they did some beautiful watches in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And then they went bust because they started making shitters. That's what happens when you make shitters. Your reputation goes downhill. So that's why you got to watch out for Patek. I think Patek is on the path of UG. They're starting to make some shitters. And you know what's going to happen? Guess what happens when they start pumping out those shitters from Patek? The brand's going to go downhill. Anyway, so Universal Geneve, they went bust, bankrupto, and all of a sudden, But they did make some. They made some cool watches. The tri-compacts, all those compacts, whatever you want to call them. Wow, look at that fog coming in. Now, this is what you pay the big bucks for. My friends, this is what you pay the big bucks for the fog. Unbelievable but true. So anyhow, so UG went bust, and about a year and a half ago now, a little bit about a year ago, these bums started accumulating UG. And you know what? I've been looking at them for a while, and I missed the boat on a few. I just kind of didn't find the right one, and guess what happened? I missed the boat. You see the pier? The boat's gone. This is the next boat. You want the next boat? You want to know what the next pump and dump is? I'll tell you. But the UG boat has sailed. Prices basically, doubled in some cases, and now Breitling, even worse. Breitling, even worse than Omega is Breitling. They're going to be reissuing UG. That's right. They bought the brand. They bought the name. They're going to be pumping out new UG watches, and they're all shitters, by the way. They're all nasty and vicious shitters. Overpriced, 14 grand is what they're asking. They're not worth it. They're going to be coming out, and don't get caught up in the UG Universal Geneve pump and dump. Okay, it's a Fugazi. All right. You know what a Fugazi is? Google it. You know what a Fugazi is? That's Juan and Kino. That's right, Juan and Kino. Those are the two Fugazis, hubcap stealing, cockroach breeding bastards. I think they're gonna grab one of these logs and row their way back to Isla del Cucarachas. That's how they came, on one of these logs from Isla del Cucarachas and Isla del Basura, and they're gonna row their way back. That's right, January 21st, when Trump comes into office. Now, what's the next thing being pumped and dumped? You got the fat walrus, the hungry hippo. He's running a pump and dump on Purnell. Purnell. You ever heard of that brand, Purnell? It sounds like some sort of anal lubricant or something. Purnell. I don't know. It sounds weird. I don't like that name, Purnell. The name is important. Rolex. Rolex is kind of a kitschy name. It's kind of kitschy. It's a very kind of old-fashioned name when you think about it. Rolex. It's like Windex. Yeah, it's Windex, Rolex. It's the same marketing grifters came up with these names. Spandex, Rolex, Windex. The more you think about it, the more the value of the watch drops. So you don't want to think about it too much. But anyway, Purnell is a terrible brand, and the hungry hippo is the hungry hippo, and the butthole eyes, the guy with the butthole eyes and the Tweety Bird haircut. They've cornered the market on Purnell. They loaded up on all the Purnell shitters, and now they're dumping them. Now, if they were smart, and they're not, I don't think the butthole eye guy is a real, strategic thinker. I mean, he's I think a smart guy. He's a good business guy, but he's not really really not a strategic marketer. If he was, what he would have done is he would have put a couple of those Purnell shitters in a couple of good auctions, and then had one of his friends bid him up. Maybe he could have even gotten Artem Pizdets. You know who Artem Pizdets is? Google it. That's Tim Wright. Artem Pizdets. That's his real name, and he's also getting deported. That's right, Artem Pizdets, Tim Wright, getting deported back to that shithole country that he's from. That shithole third world country that he's from. He's getting deported back. Artem Pizdets, low-life, one-eyed Ukrainian degenerate. These Ukrainians, they're all involved in insurance scams and also grifting, medical billing fraud in Brighton Beach, that's where the guy lives. He's in Brighton Beach, him and JJ. They're probably all connected. It's probably one giant grift that these guys are running. Because, the Italians and the Ukrainians, they all work together in these insurance scams. And also hubcap thieving. Actually, not hubcap. They steal airbags. That's what they've been stealing. The hubcaps are stolen by the Puerto Ricans. The Italians steal the airbags. Unbelievable, unbelievable, but true. Anywho, my friends, so don't get scammed. Don't let these bums steal your children's tuition money. The market for UG. No comment. The market for UG, the market for Purnell, the market for Ebel, a bunch of these other shitter brands. It's a scam. It's a pump and dump. Okay, don't get caught up in the dump. Now, the pump is okay. I'm all for the pump. If you want to, ride the pump, that's good. More power to you. You want to ride that pump. You want to get in on the ground floor. What's going to be the next watch to move? That's smart. And then you got to dump. You got to get out right before it's peaking. Don't be greedy. Don't hold out for the last penny. Okay, the Ebel game is going to be over soon. Cartier is pretty much running on fumes. Fumato. Cartier va a fumato. That's right, Cartier is running on the fumes. And what's going to happen to Cartier watches is they're going to be worthless. Those shaped Cartiers that the Dirty Sanchez guy is pumping, they're going to be worthless soon. So don't be a sucker. Don't be a sucker. Make sure you click the like, subscribe button now.